I used to believe that losing your home would be loud, sudden, undeniable, like a fire ripping through walls or a storm tearing a roof apart. I was wrong. Sometimes it happens slowly, quietly, with paperwork, polite language, and people who smile while they take things from you. By the time I understood that strangers were already standing on my land, measuring it like I was a temporary inconvenience, and weeks later the woman who ordered it would sit in a courtroom pretending she didn't remember my face, even though she had tried to erase my life one letter at a time. That fence wasn't just a line, it was a promise. My grandfather bought this land when there was nothing here but dirt roads and open sky. No HOA, no boards, no rules about how tall your grass could be or what color your door had to be. He planted those trees himself, one by one. My father repaired that fence every few years after storms, after winters, after time wore it down. When he passed, the fence became something else to me. It wasn't wood anymore. It was memory. It was proof that some things were meant to stay. The HOA arrived years later, expanding outward like they always do. New houses, identical designs, uniform rules. At first they ignored me. I wasn't officially part of their development, and that irritated them more than anything. I didn't attend meetings. I didn't vote. I didn't ask permission to live the way my family always had. That quiet independence made me visible. The first letter came on a Thursday. Beige envelope, clean font, calm language, routine boundary clarification. Those words are engineered to keep you from panicking. Halfway down the page, buried like an afterthought, it said, "My fence encroached on HOA common property and would need to be removed within 30 days. No greeting, no explanation, just a deadline and consequences." I laughed. Then I stopped. I pulled my deed, then my survey, then old photographs of my father standing by that same fence decades ago. Everything lined up. Everything said the land was mine. So I assumed it was a mistake, a clerical error, something adults would correct once it was pointed out. I went to the HOA meeting. The room felt artificial. Folding chairs, cheap coffee, a printed agenda taped to the wall. When I spoke, I stayed calm. I explained the history. I showed my documents. I expected confusion, maybe embarrassment. Instead, the HOA president leaned back in her chair, smiled like she already knew how this would end, and said, "Our documents say otherwise." That sentence changed everything. The fines started almost immediately. $50 a day, then $100. Notices taped to my door like warnings. Emails copied to their attorney. Each one felt heavier than the last, like they were stacking pressure on purpose, waiting for me to collapse. I called, I emailed, I asked for meetings. Most of my messages went unanswered. When someone finally replied, they spoke slowly, carefully, like I was confused, like I didn't understand how things worked now. They reminded me court was expensive. They reminded me compliance was easier. They reminded me I was alone. That's when the doubt took hold. Real doubt. The kind that creeps in late at night when the house is quiet. I lay awake staring at the ceiling, wondering if I had missed something, wondering if my grandfather had made a mistake, wondering if I was about to lose everything because I was stubborn. I even walked the fence line one night, dragging my fingers along the wood, imagining what it would feel like to take it down. It felt like erasing someone I loved. Neighbors stopped waving. People I'd known for years avoided eye contact. Fear does that. Silence spreads faster than truth. Then came the second letter. This one mentioned a lien, casually, like it was routine, like threatening someone's home was just another checkbox. That was the first time I felt real fear in my chest. The kind that makes your hands shake even when you're trying to stay calm. I demanded to see the HOA survey. When I finally did, my stomach dropped. It was old, faded, referencing landmarks that didn't exist anymore. And the longer I stared at it, the more wrong it felt. Not mistaken. Wrong. Lines stretched just enough to justify what they wanted. I hired an independent surveyor even though I couldn't afford it. I told myself this was the last step. If it came back against me, I'd stop fighting. I didn't have anything left. When the results came in, I sat in my truck and cried. Not relief. Anger. The fence wasn't even close to their claimed boundary. Not debatable. Not gray. They had lied. On paper. On purpose. That's when the HOA's tone changed. Suddenly they wanted to talk. Suddenly it was about interpretation, about nuance, about how stressful litigation could be for someone like me. The threats softened, wrapped in concern. That's how you know they're scared. Then they crossed the line. One Saturday morning I woke up to voices outside. I stepped onto my porch and saw 3 people standing on my land with measuring wheels and clipboards. No notice, no permission, just confidence, like they already owned it. I told them to leave. They didn't. The HOA president arrived moments later, arms crossed, calm smile in place, and told me I was obstructing HOA business. Something changed in me, not anger, something colder, clearer. I told them to get off my land. Calm, firm, final. When they refused, I documented everything and contacted my attorney. Standing there watching strangers trespass like it was normal, I realized this wasn't about 6 feet of dirt anymore. It was about whether I would disappear quietly. I filed suit. Court drained me in ways I didn't expect. Paperwork, deadlines, depositions. Their lawyer spoke with confidence, like confidence was evidence. He painted me as emotional, unreasonable, difficult. But facts don't bend to tone. Their story shifted. Measurements changed. Dates moved. They contradicted themselves without noticing. Then the county records came out. Original plats, filed decades before the HOA existed. Clean, undeniable. The judge didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. He asked one simple question they couldn't answer. Just one. And in that silence, everything they'd built collapsed. The ruling was clear. The HOA lost the land claim, lost the fines, lost the lien, lost credibility. Within days, the president resigned quietly. No apology, no explanation, just gone. I didn't celebrate. I didn't smile. I stood by that fence again, running my hand along the wood, realizing how close I came to losing my home, not because I was wrong, but because I almost stayed silent. Power only works when people believe they don't have a choice.